Everyone has their flaws. It's something we all share as humans. I have my shortcomings, and so do you. That's just part of being human. Whether or not you've come to terms with this fact, it remains unchanged. No one gets everything right 100% of the time. There's no such thing as a perfect, flawless saint who never makes mistakes and knows everything. The complexity of human nature and the world we live in makes it impossible to be entirely free of flaws. However, having flaws, making mistakes, and being ignorant are not things to be ashamed of or feared. These aspects do not define failure, nor do they mean a person is a failure. In fact, they can be crucial parts of growth and learning. What's most important about flaws is not the flaws themselves, but how you deal with them. If you recognize your shortcomings and take steps to address them, those flaws become valuable. They become part of your growth. On the other hand, if you know your weaknesses and choose to ignore them, or worse, intentionally make the same mistakes, those flaws can become obstacles to your development. We live in a society where social norms and relationships might lead us to hide our flaws, like blaming our mistakes on others. Some people might choose to deceive themselves and refuse to face their mistakes. But if we evade our own errors, those errors can grow bigger and turn into unsolvable problems. Others might refuse to admit their ignorance, pretending to know everything, showing off their half-baked knowledge, and arguing relentlessly to save face. Now, I hope you aim for success by letting go of stubbornness and fear, and bravely face your flaws. It might be uncomfortable, but I hope you can start from now, face yourself, and accept yourself. Acknowledging your flaws, recognizing that you make mistakes and don't know everything, accepting your imperfect, perhaps even seemingly failed self, is a rare and valuable quality. So, what's the point of realizing your flaws? Have you ever encountered someone who lacks self-awareness or stubbornly insists they're right even when they're clearly wrong, arguing incessantly with others? Or someone who speaks without knowing the facts, just to show off? These are common occurrences and some of the toughest problems to solve in life. When someone cannot accept the possibility of being wrong and insists on their absolute correctness, they can't make real progress or move things in a better direction. They ignore reality, criticize others, and when problems arise, they start blaming others, complaining loudly, as if none of the issues concern them. I believe you might have experienced such situations, whether as a victim or as the stubborn person. Fortunately, it's never too late. You can choose to change your attitude towards mistakes starting now. When you realize you've made a mistake, boldly admit it and take responsibility instead of shifting the blame. Recognize your ignorance and seek to understand better by listening to others, researching, and making well-informed decisions. Sometimes, people get stuck in a cycle of self-criticism, feeling like they do everything wrong and have no value, becoming a burden to others. If you find yourself in such a situation, I want to tell you, your thoughts are wrong. The real issue is not the specific mistakes you think you made, but your overall mindset. Many mistakes you perceive aren't actually your fault, and what you've done isn't as bad as you think. You don't need to accept unjust criticism from others. Everyone has their value, and we should learn to see ourselves and our actions correctly. You're not as bad as you think, but you might not have realized it yet. So far, you've endured many difficulties and pains that others can't imagine. While I haven't personally experienced your struggles and can't fully understand your feelings, I still hope you can face the reality that everyone makes mistakes, and no one is always right. Often, those who criticize you are the source of the errors themselves. Don't punish yourself for others' mistakes or shortcomings. Though change isn't easy, start now to become stronger, keep striving, and things will eventually change. Of course, in daily life, situations are usually less extreme but can be more subtle. In today's age of social media, everyone has a platform to voice their opinions. But are those opinions always correct? We often see people sharing life hacks or 10 steps to wealth. Are they really effective? Are they truly right? Even what I'm saying now, is it really correct? For simple life hacks, we can test them ourselves. But for major life decisions, social commentary, or worldviews, how do we verify them? These require a lot of time and effort to test through trial and error, yet time is precious and life is short. We can't afford such costly mistakes. Therefore, I hope you remain vigilant and skeptical. Authority doesn't always mean correctness, Popularity doesn't guarantee truth. Everyone has flaws, and errors can come from others too. Those who sound confident might be quite ignorant. We need to use our research, learning, and facts to judge. But what causes these flaws? Before we explore this question, I hope you can start with small actions that won't take much of your time. If you make a mistake, try to admit it and face the consequences rather than covering it up or shifting the blame. If you're unclear about something, boldly admit it instead of guessing, and seek to understand through research or asking knowledgeable people. When others give advice, don't immediately accept or reject it. Research and verify it yourself, combining your experience to judge its trustworthiness. As I said before, it's never too late. If you want to change, start today. If you have any thoughts or feelings, feel free to share them in the comments.